The Morning Wave with Sam Lee Hawker.
Wave after wave, wave after wave.
9 to 11 a.m. weekdays on Mix 93.8.
Coach's Corner is brought to you by Feel Good Fourways, a Grit Grow Mix 93.8 and Blue Hearts Community Initiative. 33 after 9, Candice is back. How are you, madame?
I'm very well, a bit croaky today, but otherwise good.
Still looking fabulous.
Still smiling.
So I'd actually like for us to start with what happened this weekend, right? I know you wanted to end with it, but I'd love to talk about what happened this morning. I have to say,
yes,
I was a little bit late, maybe like 10 minutes late, but it wasn't too bad. And what an experience, you know. And I was telling Candice, I really love intimate sessions, you know, where you've got a nice, good group of people who are engaging. You can interact and talk with them as well. Everybody was making notes and nodding. Couple of tears as well, Candice.
It was so special, Sam.
Yeah.
Really, thank you for taking the time. I know how busy you are, but the value that you added to that, I've gotten endless voice notes from people to say how inspiring you were. So thank you.
Wonderful, ladies.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Although I'm quite embarrassed. So Monique was there with me and she was taking quite a bunch of pictures. And she was like, Sam, at some point, why didn't you want to close your legs? You were sitting on a bar stool.
You're like, Monique, I am opening my mind.
You were very comfortable.
I was comfortable, exactly. So Candice, just following up from what we did on Saturday, and thank you once again so much for inviting me as well. Today we're talking about the power of detachment. Love this one because I've been doing it quite a bit lately, right? So let's get into that.
Yes, it links a little bit with last week when we spoke about surrender. So it's another form of letting go, and we attach ourselves to three things mostly. So we attach ourselves to people in the form of our children, maybe a parent, maybe a friend, which doesn't sound like an issue except for the fact that the whole empty nest syndrome comes in when your kids have to leave the home. And it's a lot of pressure to put onto somebody for them to fill that part of you that's maybe missing. Then we attach ourselves to things, and that's a lot more obvious to see. So whether it's that sentimental stuff like a nice vase or a ring or something, maybe a car that we've worked really hard to get, and then we attach ourselves to outcomes. So how things should be,
Danger.
and how people should react to us, and how people should be with us, and when they aren't exactly like that, then we are left with disappointment. We're left feeling worthless. We left with this emptiness within us.
What I want to ask is, you know, why does that happen? You know, is it something that just, I don't know, we observe or we see, something that we grow up with, you know, things that we see other people doing? I don't know.
Yeah. So it is what we see, but then it's also the value we add to things. So it's our perception of things and how important we think things are, and what you're going to attach yourself to is going to be something very different to what I'm going to attach myself to.
Do you think it's important to look at it in a neutral capacity of, is this serving me? So I'm very, very attached to something, but it may actually not be serving you, and it's more your habit than anything. So you need to disengage from that.
Yes, definitely. I like to ask myself the question, if this wasn't here tomorrow, how would I be?
Oh, wow, that's a good question.
So, I like to use the analogy of a holiday. So you go and you book an amazing holiday, this beautiful beach resort, and while you're staying in that house for those 2 weeks, you are enjoying every moment of that, because you know that it's not forever, you know that it's going to pass, and you almost more present. And that's how I like to, I mean, again, not always, but as much as what I can, I like to live my life like that, saying I don't know how long these people are going to be around, so every conversation is richer.
Wow.
Every time I spend time with them, it's more special, as the same with the things that we have. And they can literally be taken from us in an instant, and then that just makes you appreciate them more.
So how does it work as far as people are concerned? Because obviously you get attachments to individuals, right? But what happens if it's out of your hands, for example, and someone has to deal with, per se, a death, for example? How do you deal with that? Because now, you know, the process of detachment is quite sudden.
Yeah. So that would be a very deep one, where you'd be seeing your therapist and you'd be grieving and all of that. Absolutely. So I think today I'm focusing more on when somebody has to leave our lives. So whether it's an ex or whether it is somebody going overseas. My sister went overseas for 2 years, and I grieved that for 2 weeks, I couldn't function. She was just an aeroplane away, a flight away. But that's what we do, is this person becomes such a big part of our lives. And then if they're not there tomorrow, how are we without them?
So let's look at the difference between attachment versus detachment, Candice.
Yes, they feel completely different.
Yeah.
So attachment is that needy, clingy, I need this person to complete me. If they're not around, I'm not fulfilled. A lot of stuff that we could be filling ourselves, we're looking for in somebody else, which is dangerous on its own. Whereas detachment is this free feeling of I'm so grateful for the moments I have. I'm so grateful for what I have in every moment, and not overlooking all those blessings and those miracles every single day. So
How do we do it, Candice? How do we do such a thing?
It is a process. It's not like, okay, so now just let go of everything and don't be attached to anything. It's definitely not going to happen like that. A great way to start is to follow activities. Today's activity really is to just tune in if they've missed today's discussion on the show. But then every day I'm going to do it step by step. So again, how do we eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
Yes. So we're going to start to make a list of the things that are really precious to us. And then we're going to say why. It's always good to get into the why. Why is this so important? What does it mean to me? And what will it mean to me if it's not there? But if they follow our activities through our Instagram and our Facebook, then they'll be able to do it one step at a time.
Yeah, I think detachment, can come in different forms, right? Because I used to think that just blocking somebody is me detaching, right?
Yeah.
And today it's very, very different. Part of detaching, particularly from a very toxic relationship, is talking about it, right?
Yeah.
And letting it all go, and also cultivating a different mindset around that, But we constantly have to look at, self. What was the role that I played? Well, actually, I see that I had no boundaries. The other thing is that I wasn't firm enough, or I didn't even know what I want.
Were you enabling certain behaviors?
Oh, spot on.
Another thing I found about detachment is sometimes we limit ourselves with it. So like you could have an idea of how something's going to pan out, but then when it doesn't happen like that, often it's better than what you expected.
What you're saying right now, people who seem to be a little bit more controlling and type A, I think must be struggle with this concept of detachment a little bit more than others.
Yes.
So maybe what we can do is if you can please send us a WhatsApp 0848220938 and let us know what you're currently attached to, whether it's a person or a thing or even an outcome, and perhaps even let us know what you've recently been able to detach from. I like the universal law that speaks about detachment, but detachment with love.
Amen.
Yes.
Not anger. Right? So Candice, of course, you said we need to head over to the social media pages and platforms, right?
Yes, please. Through Instagram is Growing Resilience Within. And then the Facebook, you can get the link through our website, grit-grow.co.za.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
What are you detaching from this week, Laurie?
Sure, I'm trying to just compartmentalize because I'm at that point now, and your brain's busy and everything just kind of feels like it's in one tangled ball of wires in your head. And I need to sort these wires out.
Well, as Candice said, it's a process, ma'am.
Amen.
Right, 41 after 9. Candice, thank you so much. And we'll hear from you again on Friday.
Thank you, ladies.